All right, welcome back to BrainFLoTv. Listen, this is BrainFLoTv. Sometimes we call it Hot Topics TV. You know, if the topic is hot, we're on it. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and let's get right into this conversation. Now, my grandmama always said there's three things you don't discuss: politics, paycheck, and more politics, right? So, but we're gonna do some politics this morning. It's not my thing to discuss politics. However, I feel the need to. So I'm seeing a trend, and what the trend is that a lot of people are getting on social media. They're like, I'm voting for Donald Trump no matter what. I'm voting for Donald Trump no matter what. They keep asking everybody, what has the Biden administration done? Especially in particular for black people. They keep asking everybody, what has the Biden administration done for black people? It's kind of like when Obama was president, and they kept going, I expected Obama to do more for black people. What has Obama done for black people? What did Obama do for black people? Listen, no president can do just for black people, okay? I would be very friggin' worried if a white guy was president and he got in there and he started implementing some policies and he was up there saying, well, this is for my white people. I would have a fucking problem with that, right? So why did we expect a black president to do stuff specifically for black people? There were things that were put in place for Americans, and you would benefit from it. And a lot of those things were put in place for the most disenfranchised Americans. And who falls largely in that group? African Americans, black people, right? Immigrants. Yeah. So here we are. Looking at this, approaching election time, things are getting pretty interesting. You know, Donald Trump has like how many felonies against him, and the Supreme Court has now ruled that he cannot be barred from any of the ballots in any of the states, which means, and there are other Republican frontrunners who have stepped out of the way, given up their campaign for presidency to allow him to push forward. So obviously, this is the guy that the Republican Party is going to be pushing to be our next president. Right. Now, let me say this. I'll give you a quick geographical lesson, right? America, the Americas, is a continent. It's not a country. Just like Africa is a continent with many countries. Right. I am Jamaican American. Both countries are on the same continent, which makes me a born American, even if I wasn't born in the United States of America. But I did come to the United States of America at 8 years old, and I did work my way up. I didn't beg anybody for anything. I came here as a little immigrant kid, and I succeeded in more ways than one by grabbing hold of all the opportunities that were laid out in front of me, no free handouts, and doing all the shit that a lot of people did not want to do, making sacrifices, to include serving in the military for quite some time. Now, with that said, let's talk about what the agenda is. So here we are, right? Hearing people say stuff like, I can't wait to get rid of Biden. He's just Sleepy Joe. You know, it's like trending, talking foolishness. And social media has a lot of people just sitting home, just typing all kinds of stuff because they want likes, and they want to be a part of a group that's saying one thing to feel like they belong. Like lonely people sitting at home with no friends. Back in the day, we used to go outside and play as kids, so we had real friends. Nowadays, people sit inside their homes that are more antisocial, so they don't really have any friends, or any circle, any group that they interact with, other than when they go to work and when they come home from work, right? Right. Let's answer the questions real quick. I'll give you a couple of things that means a lot to me that the Biden administration has done. Let's start out with penalties for college programs that strap students with debt. I'm a university graduate, and I went to university, fully paid off my tuition, and I said this. Somebody said the other day, I'm voting for Trump no matter what. Name me one thing that the Biden administration has done for black people or for Americans. And I said, paid off a whole lot of student loans, forgave the debt, canceled it for us, whatever. The person said, yeah, I see you have a Jamaican flag behind you. You're an immigrant, and that's exactly your type. love a handout. Let me tell you something. A handout didn't pay for my tuition. A handout was not given to me. I earned mines, right? I earned mines through the military and military service. Something that a lot of you born, bred United States of Americans did not do. You see the military and you looked the other way. I served, and I served honorably. Matter of fact, when you speak to me, put some respect on my name. You're looking at a 6'5", 250 pounds United States infantry combat veteran, Dick, dedicated infantry combat killer. Nah, that's something we say. But yes, I am that. My blue cord is on my uniform, and my CIB sits right there next to my YouTube plaque for my other channel. Now let's get back to this. So my tuition was paid off through the GI Bill, which I invested in when I joined the military, for another 3.9 million US citizens, people going to school here, trying to better themselves with the education. The Biden administration has canceled to this date, which is March 8th of 2024, $138 billion worth of student loans canceled, which helped out 3.9 million Americans. That's facts. Go look it up. So when you keep on talking, I'm voting for no matter what, you're probably one of those people that had no aspirations to go to any school, increase your education, go to any learning program, learn a skill, anything, be certified in something to increase your knowledge in order to better your way of life. You're probably one of those, so you don't care that this was done, right? Okay, here's another one. Insulin treatment. Insulin treatment, for those who have to go for insulin treatment, Americans, they're paying about $500+ per month. Per month. $500+ per month. Well, the Biden administration has lowered that to $35 per month. And not only that, they are now putting in the works a cap on that, so it remains at $35 per month. From there, not only for insulin treatment, but for other treatments that people need in order to survive. Now, I don't know if you know anybody that needs insulin on a regular basis. We're talking about diabetic people, right? Well, we live in the age of information. Just go Google and see how many Americans suffer from diabetes or diabetic situations, and they need their insulin. And also, you will find out that a lot of the people who are struggling to pay this $500+ a month just to keep themselves alive, they're also hurting financially because they're of the lower half of the totem pole where earning is concerned, right? And not to mention, imagine being a senior citizen, you're dependent on your little pension and your Medicaid, whatever else benefits you're getting, and it stretches everything thin to where you now got to depend on Meals on Wheels because you can't even afford to put some groceries in your house. Is that aging with dignity? Wouldn't you be happy that somebody took your $500 per month bill and turned it into $35 per month? Okay, here's another one. Historic expansion of benefits and services for toxic exposed veterans. We're talking about benefits that will extend to our veterans. I don't know if I'm a veteran. I don't know if you've ever seen. And let me say this first. Thank you for your service to every veteran out there. We share a bond that nobody else knows except for those of us who've been there in the trenches, did it, lived it, right? No matter how we try to explain it, civilians will never get it until they serve and become one of us. Now, back to this. It's historic expansion of benefits and services for toxic exposed veterans. Just go check the VA. Just go look it up. I've been dealing with the VA for quite some time now, and things have gotten better, progressively better, right? Under Donald Trump's administration, my benefits were yanked for no reason. And I was like, what? And I had to go through a whole process, reapplying, doing all my interviews, all my medicals all over again. and then they reinstated my benefit, and which was really, really weird. And many more people who served were affected in the same way. So shout out to Joe Biden for that, right? I don't know if you've ever seen a veteran who's been exposed to some toxic chemicals overseas while fighting to defend your way of life in the United States of America, giving you the right to sit down and talk shit all day if you please, right? I've seen one brother who was just drooling on himself, and they took him to a barbershop to get a haircut where I was sitting there in the barbershop, and over the years that I saw him, he went from walking to shuffling in his gait when he walked, to drooling on himself, to just staring into space, right? And imagine that becoming your life and you not having any help in that situation. Now, here's another one. Renewable power is now the #2 source of energy in the United States of America, and that happened under the Biden administration. Don't take my word for it, go look it up. Renewable power is now the #2 source of energy in the United States of America. Here's another one. There was a crackdown on discriminatory mortgage lending. Who you think that benefits? There was a crackdown on discriminatory mortgage lending. Listen, there was a African-American couple who wanted to sell their house. They cleaned up the house, they staged it nicely, they put it on the market. I believe the house went for, give you an example, the house went for $300,000. That's the offer that they would get, right? And they knew that their house was worth way more than that. But they had like black people's pictures in the house and all that. So they changed all that and restaged the house and put up some white people's picture in the house just to sell the house. The house more than doubled in offer, like $600 and something thousand. So these practices don't just go to the market when houses are being sold. They even extend to these mortgage lending companies when it's time for you to go purchase a house, right? So I hate to hear the talk, what has the Biden administration done for black people? We out here buying houses. I purchased a beautiful home close to the beach in the state of Florida with a big old pool in the back, fenced in private backyard on a nice piece of land and all that other stuff, but I won't tell you about that, right? $20 billion to our farmers to go to climate smart farming. Times are changing. Our farmers need help. Farm food. Can't farm your own food? You're F-U, you know the rest, E-D. Right. There's another one. Loosening federal restrictions on marijuana. Believe it or not, there are a lot of people out here who are ailing, especially, again, veterans. But they don't want to take one pill that has 10 side effects. And sooner or later, their liver, their kidneys, their heart, everything's failing just because they wanted to fix their eyesight. So there are medicinal purposes in marijuana. Right. Loosening federal restrictions on marijuana. That's a big one. Making medication more accessible through telemedicine. You can go look this up. Making medication more accessible through telemedicine. Then there is, the US is now producing more oil now than in any other time in history. So we're becoming less dependent on foreign sources for our oil. The US is now producing more oil than any other time in history. And this happened under the Biden administration. They also put together a new agency to investigate cyber attacks and to monitor artificial intelligence. I don't know if you're paying attention to what's going on with artificial intelligence, but sooner or later, people will own your likeness. And you will be in places doing things on video, places that you have never been. Now imagine that being placed in court and a jury is looking at it and saying, well, that is you. You did say that and you were there doing that. And you're like, that's not me. I never left my home. I never left my state. I've never been to that place. Guilty. We saw you on video. This can get very bad, AI. So it needs monitoring. And while they have a new agency to investigate cyber attacks and to monitor artificial intelligence, while strengthening our military drone capabilities for combat. War is changing. I am a combat veteran. I've been to war. I've been in the thick of the shits of it. I was an infantry soldier in it. I wasn't in the kitchen. I wasn't doing anything else. I was out there, right? War is changing, and we have to get on the side of technology to defend our freedom, our way of life. Let me tell you something about military service and when we go to war. We go to war because we don't want that war to come to us. I've been to other people's country. I know what it feels like to have tanks rolling down your street and past your front door, and you're barricaded in your house with your family, and soldiers running out and running through your house and up to your rooftop so they could survey your whole block and your street and your neighborhood. We don't want that here, but we did it over there. We did it in other people's country. So it's either or either. You make a choice, right? And then we talk about Donald Trump's side. The only thing I'm hearing from over there is close the border, build the walls, stop the immigrant criminals from coming in, build the wall, close the border. Okay, I admit, the border is a mess. I don't even know why it was open like that in the first place, and I don't like it. But you gotta come stronger than that for me with something else other than just the border is open, vote him out so we can close the border. Here's the problem. Majority of the immigrants that are coming in, right, they are not here to do crime. Thousands and thousands of them have came into the country, and only a handful of them have been involved in criminal activities. Most of them are coming here. They're going to be the ones who are doing the cheap labor that everybody else does not want to do. I went to school. I graduated from a university. I have a degree. I went to the military. I served. You can't get me to go pick friggin' fruits for minimum wage in the fields, especially in Florida where we have the farms and it's hot as hell outside in the summertime. I'm above that, right? And so are a lot of other people. But who's gonna pick our fruits? When you go to your grocery stores and your local farmers market, who's picking those fruits and filling those baskets and putting those things on a shelf so you can go shopping for your lettuce, your tomatoes, your cabbage, your carrots, your cucumbers, your whatever, your celeries, your oranges, your grapefruits, you name it. Bananas, who's picking those and bringing them? Because they're not grown in a lab. They're actually grown in a field. And someone has to harvest them. Your grapes, your blackberries, your blueberries, your this, your that, your strawberries. Who's picking them? None of us are going to do it. It's those immigrants that are coming in who are fighting for a better way of life that are going to be filling those positions. The most important one for me, which I just found out, is for the past 5 years, the United States of America's military has not met its quota, meaning we're not getting the amount of people we need to go into service. There's no draft instated. There's no mandatory military service in the United States of America. People serve because they want to serve, because they want to be bigger than something that's bigger. They want to be a part of something that's bigger than themselves. They want to do something honorable. But a lot of people also go in just because they want they want benefits. They want to be able to invest in a GI Bill, serve a couple of years, go to school, be able to pay off a tuition for $60,000, get a degree, better themselves in life, get some housing benefits so you can purchase a property and move up in life in America and accomplish the American dreams. People go in for different reasons. For the past 5 years, the U.S. has not met its quota military-wise. Guess what? The deal is on the table that a lot of these people are coming into the United States of America. They're young, fit, able-bodied people, especially men. So here's the deal. For 8 years of military service, you will receive your United States citizenship. Make it a pathway to citizenship through service. I have no friggin' problem with that. I went into the military in the United States of America as a green card holder. And then after serving a certain number of years, because you can only serve 2 years before you have to apply for citizenship or you will have to exit the military. I wanted to do way more than 2 years, so I went ahead and got my citizenship. Now, applying for a citizenship while you're in uniform, I can tell you it happened so fast because you are expedited that when it came back to me, I was like, damn, that was quick. because I know others who are trying to get their citizenship, and it's a long process for them. So it's a win-win situation in that, if you ask me. So military service, construction, come on now, ain't none of y'all trying to be out here on no damn roofs in 100-degree weather in the summertime, putting shingles on roofs and all that other stuff. These immigrants, that's their field. They love it, they do it, they don't mind doing it, they're progressive, productive with it, and they feed their families with it, and they don't mind. Also, the picking of the fruits. So military construction, and our fruits and vegetables, those are very important friggin' things to me. And those are the reasons why these people are needed. So this build a wall, close the border, deport all immigrants, this, that, and the other, I don't buy it. I don't buy it. So it's got to be more than that for me. Listen, I don't care what you vote for, which side you vote for. I just want you to be informed properly when you go to cast your vote. And don't be one of those people who talk a lot of shit on social media, but when it comes time to vote, not just for your president, but for your local elections, you're missing in action. And for some of you who think, oh, I am a die-hearted Democrat or I'm a die-hearted Republican, I can have a Republican governor for my state and vote Democratic for my president. Think about that. I'll catch y'all on the next video. It's BrainFLoTv, otherwise sometimes called Hot Topics TV. And leave your comments in the comment section below. Tell me who you voting for. Is it going to be Biden for you, or is it going to be Trump? And leave your explanation why. Let's have a conversation in the comment section. And if you know me, you know we don't have to agree on everything, but we do keep it respectful mutually. All right? I'm out. Peace.